There we are. My mic was turned way too low there. Hello everyone and welcome. We are coming into the quarterfinals here of this EGL Summoners Cup number 16 between WLV.es Esports and WLV.es Esports Bulgaria. I am Sona and my co-caster is Grey Goose. How are you doing, Grey?
I'm a little bit sick, but generally pretty well. I visited my parents for breakfast this morning, so I've eaten well, and now I'm here, and I get to cast games with you again. It's been a while.
Has been a while. We should just be getting into the picks and bans any moment now, waiting on WLV.es Esports Bangi to actually start up the game. So I'm quite excited for this one. Obviously they're sister teams, both of them being from the WLV.es Esports group, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they sort of play against each other, especially with like some of the weird strategies and stuff that might come out.
Indeed, I would expect these two teams to actually know one another, and they've probably played against each other in the past, seeing as you mentioned, they're from the same organization basically. We'll see what they're going to do as we see the first ban coming out here, Shyvana. What do you think about that one?
So strong at the moment. Just you see her banned out in the majority of sort of higher level games. Saw a lot of her being banned out in the Battle of the Atlantic and the promotional series last night, and I'm sure that she will not get through many times tonight.
I would be very surprised indeed. And the next bans are Evelyn. Evelyn, of course, so powerful these days with the way that Vision is currently working, as there are so few mechanisms to actually get True Sight to actually reveal her. You know, pink wards are very weak against her, and they're pretty expensive if you want to place them all the time. Other bans we have here are Mundo, who's been terrifying and dominating all throughout the Battle of the Atlantic and the promotion series, as well as the We Play Invitational tournament already. He's just, with the new masteries, the health regeneration is just so strong.
Yeah, really easy to build up into that tank Mundo and be unkillable pretty much into the late game. Especially with Mundo, with that sadism ultimate, you regain so much of your life back, so much of your health back over that short period of time. Unless an ignite gets popped on you or you have a grievous wounds on you, you're not going to be able to be stopped, and you're just going to be running around, chucking your axes and going wherever you please. We do see Nasus being banned out as well. Nasus, a really strong top laner. We talked about the tank masteries, and that's what has made Nasus as strong as he is at the moment.
I'm kind of surprised at the Diana ban. It's not something we commonly see, and that must be one of those things where they know what the enemy mid laner likes to play, and they've targeted that ban at their opponents. Now we see the first picks already coming out here. Vayne has already been locked in. Super powerful, you know, AD carry, and very strong, ramps up very well throughout the game, of course. And on the other side, we see some indecision. They can't really tell whether they want to fast pick the Lucian or rather pick a support first. And I would definitely vote for the support, as we already have Vayne on the other side. They can take all the time in the world to pick their AD carry, and they can focus on other more important picks first.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what the opponents are picking out already, you don't actually need to show your hand quite as early. However, it does mean that they've picked that Annie and the Jarvan, so we assume that that's a Jarvan jungle, and it's probably going to be an Annie support. However, Annie mid lane is still a thing. Like, you can still burst people down really quickly, especially when you get your Deathfire Grasp and use Tibbers effectively. I'm interested to see what these next couple of picks are going to be, because Janna would be quite interesting. Like, it's going to stop. Janna's so much about disengage, and Vi actually fits really well into that as well.
Yeah, Janna is, in my opinion, one of the strongest, or the strongest peeling support in the game. She has so many defensive mechanisms that Eye of the Storm Shield on your AD carry will prevent a lot of damage coming in and giving him an attack damage steroid. On top of that, you have the Howling Gale as, you know, a knock-up against several members of the enemy team if they're moving in a straight line. You have the Slow, you have the Monsoon ultimate to knock everyone back. She has so many abilities to just save her AD carry to help her team out. And then against the Jarvan, if she times the Howling Gale right, it will interrupt his flag and drag combo. Her ultimate will knock Jarvan out of the Cataclysm. So actually, even if Vayne gets caught inside it, Janna can then push Jarvan out of it, keep Vayne safe by means of that. And then there's Vi in the mix as basically the counter engage. Vi really strong, and with that Assaulted Battery, she can go all the way to the enemy backline and deal a ton of damage there.
Yeah, I mean, Vayne always able to get out of the Cataclysm with Tumble as well, being able to tumble up those walls. I'm not sure how that really works if you think of it lore-based, but I'm going to pretend that Vayne is obviously some sort of Rammus-type powerballing and is able just to speed up the walls of Cataclysm exceptionally quickly. Lucian and Oriana look like they're going to be locked in here by the Wolves Esports Bulgaria side. There's a couple of interesting picks there.
I completely agree, especially, I mean, Lucian, he was already hovered over earlier, and then the combination with Annie, that's a really, really scary bot lane. And Janna and Vayne have to be very, very careful not to get caught out by a stun there from Annie, else that lane could very quickly snowball heavily against them. And then there's the Oriana pick. Oriana is such a strong mid laner. If she gets a couple of good fights in, a single shockwave can turn the flow of a fight. We saw this yesterday in the Battle of the Atlantic. A single shockwave can turn fights completely on their head and everything around. And with someone like Jarvan, who's jumping into the middle of the fight anyway, she is a perfect ball deliverer anyway. It's not quite as effective as Vi, who's locking onto a target. It's not quite as effective as Zac, who can slingshot all the way in there, but it's already a pretty good way to get that ball into the middle of the enemy team and then really land an effective shockwave.
And I'm intrigued to see how they are going to counter this one out on the Wolves Esports side. They are locking in Renekton and Gragas. Gragas known as one of the better laners to go up against Oriana just because of your ability to sustain yourself up and your mobility with that body slam, able to dodge around and get away from the Wolves sometimes if you need to. It looks like there might be an Olaf coming in here for Wolves Esports Bulgaria, and it could be an Teemo. If it's a Teemo, I know a lot of people who are going to be very happy, but I doubt that will be locked in.
I don't even think Teemo would be that bad a pick against this current team composition. I think Teemo could actually work very well. That blind is very effective, and Teemo, when he gets a little bit ahead, will even be able to battle against a Renekton. I mean, Renekton, they picked basically the fourth main tank. Shyvana's banned out, Mundo's banned out, and Nasus is banned out. That's three very, very tanky top laners. And then Renekton is picked. That's number 4. I would have liked Olaf as well, just because Olaf, especially towards the late game, can just run through the enemy front line and get all the way to the back. And there it is. We are going to have the Olaf. It's a shame. I was going to go more into the Teemo. I would have really liked that one. But it is going to be Olaf, and they're now switching around as we are soon going to go into the spectator delay.
Yeah, that 3 minutes of talking that we get to do before the game starts, and the players in the game know exactly what have happened, and we're just sitting here hypothesizing and wondering as to what is going to go on. So a couple of really, really strong teams here, and obviously Wolves Esports and Wolves Esports Bulgaria have got through to the quarterfinals of this Summoners Cup, so proving that they work together as a team. And I think the team fighting sort of stage here is going to be one of the major aspects of this game. Just because of, as we talked about, the disengage coming out from Wolves Esports and the ability to engage coming out here from Wolves Esports Bulgaria. Lucian, Jarvan, Olaf, Annie with the stun, and Oriana with that ball and the shockwave. They have a lot of damage and a lot of ability to stick on champions and get onto their man if they need to do it.
And they will have to, because there is so much on the other side. Gragas, with his ultimate, will knock everyone away, will be able to displace enemies. Then there's Vayne, who's the super high mobility champion anyway. She can tumble all over, she has flash and barrier, she can move everywhere. Especially once that Blade of the Ruin King is done with the active, that will help as well. Then Janna gives her entire team movement speed. Then has all the peeling abilities we mentioned earlier. And Renekton will just act as a body block. To stand in front of Vayne and Janna, in front of the squishies, soak up a little bit of the damage. So if necessary, Wolves Esports have a very, very strong disengage, and I'm going to be very interested to see whether they will basically dodge out from the engaged out of Wolves Esports Bulgaria, you know, baiting out the Tibbers, baiting out the Cataclysm and possibly the Culling, stuff like that, and then turn around with a dominance on with Vi charging all the way to the backline, getting onto Annie, Oriana, or Lucian, and really wreaking havoc to the backline. It's all going to come down to these team fights and who can play it better.
Okay, I've just actually been informed that the blue side is Wolves Esports Bulgaria, and the other side is Wolves Esports, so A little problem with... I was actually reading from our game name, which says it the other way around, but I'm sure it is correct on the brackets. So, WLV Esports Bulgaria here with a great disengaged team. And you talked a little bit about the Gragas and the Renekton being that frontline tank. That's going to be interesting to see how they manage to do in lane as well, because Gragas known as a counter for Orianna. Renekton versus Olaf is really, really, really interesting as a lane. Those undertows coming out from Olaf. The... Ragnarok as well, when he hits level 6, able to tank up a lot of damage, and Renekton there probably going to be really strong in the earlier sort of aspects of the game. Ruthless Predator, that Koldamik as well, and when you get to level 6 you've got Dominus doing that percentage magic damage, doing a huge amount of damage to everyone surrounding you. So I expect to see some action actually going on in this top lane, somewhere you don't always see action.
Indeed, I completely agree, and it's going to come down to the junglers, I think, who will be able to win that. Because, I mean, Olaf and Renekton, they're going to go at each other's throats anyway, trading back and forth a lot of damage. But when the junglers come around, when Vi and Jarvan move up to that top lane and decide to fight, that is when kills are really on the line. And, you know, with a Renekton, that is always a dangerous thing. We've seen tower dives go horribly wrong where a single Renekton under his tower actually picks up a double kill and survives to tell the tale. The other way around as well. If Renekton and Vi get too greedy and charge onto an Olaf that still has Ragnarok, that has you know, life regeneration on his W, I do believe it is, and then he's got access to throw out to slow you so you can't chase this wall under the tower. You know, it's a very dangerous thing to dive these two champions, and not something I would advise unless you're absolutely certain you can make it happen quickly and then get out safely. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to play that. Are they going to be super aggressive in the top lane, or do the junglers actually decide to say, hey, we'll leave top lane alone, that's an island and they can farm all day if they want to, we'll focus on the other lanes and try to snowball them, because there is a lot of snowball potential. And if Vayne gets really fed, that's a dangerous thing. If Lucian gets really fed, that's also a very, very dangerous thing.
Yeah, and we are now into the loading screen. Some really intriguing team compositions coming out here, and we've talked a little bit about the early game, a little bit about the mid game, and a little bit about team fights as well. However, we haven't mentioned anything about level 1 action. Now, obviously these are sister teams or brother teams, depending on, you know, how you want to say it. Do you think that either of them are going to do anything at level 1? They know the opponent's strategy. They know what they usually do. Are they gonna go for something here?
I would not recommend WLV Esports Bulgaria, so the blue team, to really go for it. Annie, along with Alistar, I guess, the only champion to have an AoE CC at level 1, you know, with that stun if she's charged up on the W, she will be able to stun multiple targets, and that is devastating. On top of that, Orianna has the ball to scout out, throw that into a bush, and all of a sudden the enemy team can't just sneak in there. That prevents a lot of invades. Jarvan has a lot of early game damage. Lucian, with his passive, with a double hit after using an ability, is so strong at early trading as well. And then there's Olaf, who just chucks out his axes and slows the enemies down. So that's a very, very dangerous team. And on the other side, there's really, I mean, there's the Ruthless Predator. There's a stun out of Renekton, and there's a knock-up out of Janna, but that's about it. The rest is just damage if they can land it, but it's not even guaranteed. You know, if the barrel is dodged from Gragas, that's a lot of damage gone, and all these things are huge variables. So I'd be surprised to see WLV Esports Bulgaria go for it, and if there is a level 1, I would definitely give it over to WLV Esports. So the red team. It's so confusing with the same names. Very,
very confusing. We are into game now. I'm just going to see... there we are. Sorted out our overlays. What can I say? I am obviously a genius. I'm going to do that on this one as well.
You're a genius indeed. You are Sona.
I am Sona. I am
Isn't that synonymous?
Strings. We do have a pause coming out straight away, so gonna have a little bit longer to talk about this. Now, new summoner spell icons, Grey Goose. I have heard mixed reviews. What do you think about them?
It's the new Flash is an Air Jordan commercial. It's hilarious. It's like
so
you can fly, you can teleport yourself if you wear Air Jordans. That's what it looks like anyway. I like him. It will take some people some time to get used to, especially with certain spells. For example, not confusing Flash and Smite anymore. I've heard a couple of people complaining about that. Then stuff where they say the teleport icon looks too similar to Yumu's Ghostblade. A lot of, you know, little things that people still complain about, but generally I think they look really cool and in line with what they have been so far.
Yeah, I think they're a bit yellow. Like, that's, in my honest opinion, I just think Smite is very yellow, Flash is very yellow, Ignite I understand has to be sort of fire, and that's going to be orange or red, isn't it? And then Barrier is quite yellow as well. They just seem a bit more sort of yellowish than they used to be. But perhaps that's just me being an annoying old man, pretty much. In my day, didn't even have Barrier. The good old days before Barrier.
Back when I started playing League of Legends.
Just gonna take
but yeah, I agree. It's all yellow, and that's why people are complaining about the Smite Flash mix-up, because it looks too similar for some of them. One thing I'm interested in is how is Exhaust gonna look, because we have a couple of summoners that have not been reworked. Now we have Ghost, Exhaust, Heal, and Garrison. I think that's the 4 summoner spells that have not been reworked, and once those come out, I'll be really interested to see how they will look, especially since that could be really, really cool. And Exhaust currently is yellow as well. We'll see if they keep that color scheme or they decide to change it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. There are quite a few changes coming up before the 2014 season starts, and been talked about by a little bit. It's been alluded to by the people at Riot Games, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they decide to change the game up and just switch things around a little bit. Like, I've enjoyed the sort of the new meta shifts and the changes that have come in, especially, and we had the whole Targon's Brace thing for a little bit, and now it's moved across to getting into your Talisman of Ascension, the old Shurelya's Reverie, which I think was always the way that it was going to go. I think Philosopher's Stone is basically being replaced by Talisman of Ascension as Shurelya's. Shurelya's is being replaced by Talisman of Ascension. Almost the same item, just with a slightly different name. And that is actually quite frustrating for me, because I enjoy having things that I actually know the name of.
Yeah, and they changed the stats a little bit. It's a little nicer for supports now, and it's easier to build too, since you're going to build the items anyway. And it's really the only thing we've seen happen a couple of times with Relic Shield or / Targon's Brace and the Spell Thief's Edge is people starting with those 2 items, keeping them until like minutes 16, 17, maybe even 20, racking up some gold, sharing some gold with their AD carry, then selling it, and then picking up the Ancient Coin with the Talisman of Ascension, because they say that speed boost is just too good to pass up on. And, you know, the actives of the other 2 items simply, towards a late game scenario, are not as powerful as an AoE speed up.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. Supports have kind of fallen not back into the old mess of this is what you build as a support, because there's a lot more variability with whether you decide to get ability power items, so go Haunting guys or Deathfire Glass or Zhonya's, but they have a few of it's definitely a similar item set to that which it was in mid season 3. Like, you can kind of understand what supports are going to do. Yes, they have more of an impact on the game and they can 1v1 a little bit more, but the item sets are still quite similar, I think.
I agree, as we are finally back into the game. The pause is over. Everyone buying items, moving out onto the Rift, and we'll see whether I was completely wrong with my level 1 prediction. Are they going to go for anything here?
We'll see. Like, there are a couple of things coming out, sort of protecting across onto this red buff, but I don't actually think anything's going to happen that much. I'm just going to turn our sound down a little bit. Apparently it's a little bit high, so let's turn that down. That should make it a little bit easier, but looks like it's just going to be a protecting setup here, and we have a disconnect, so I assume that they'll pause and start this one again, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Now they're leaving it running, but one thing that's actually... Oh no, Annie seems to be here after all. But one thing that's really interesting as well is Annie has gone for a full sustain start. She's only got consumables. She's got a pink ward, green wards, and then potions. That's not something you see too often these days with all these supports. You know, Ancient Coin is always the way to go at level 1, since it gives you the early gold generation and regens, so health and mana regen, plus you still have enough money left to buy 1 or 2 wards plus potions. But Annie deciding not to go for that, and they're going to move across here and possibly invade. Sitting right there, Janna's in danger.
She is in a dangerous position, but she can just blow them away if they get too close. Has that Howling Gale already, so if she is able to spot them as they come into that sort of jungle-ish area towards that bush, she should be able to get rid of them. Here comes the Damascene Standard, I expect. Oh no, and he's there, but Janna really slow to react. Howling Gale comes out, and there's a pause again. Oh wow. Okay.
Wow, so close. That was just too good. Was that the panic button? Oh my god, they're coming. Pause. Help.
Quite possibly. Yeah, I'm just gonna get you to call me back on Skype. Apparently we've got a couple of issues with lag on the stream, so if you can call me back, we will right, let's get on the TeamSpeak. We'll get onto TeamSpeak. While we're doing that, I will continue to talk. Sona got 2 votes in the who will win chat, so that's pretty cool for me. I mean, I am quite a popular man, so obviously Sona. We are just about to get into this. Janna has escaped. Nicely done by her. It looks like the stream lag should have evolved itself. Just need to get some details from one of our admins about what the actual chat is onto which I need to get. Because I don't have the password. And we're still having a couple of issues with lag, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully we'll get this sorted out any moment now for you guys. Do not fret, do not fear, do not worry too much. We will be fixing things as soon as we can. Lanes look to be sort of relatively stable, relatively normal at the moment. Not a huge amount going on, so just waiting on Gregors to be able to get into this with me. Password is hustling, which is a great password, I think. Like, probably one of the more interesting passwords of passwordage, of password fame, I guess. I'm not sure how. Is there sort of a way to judge passwords? I don't think there is. But I guess you just judge them etymologically, don't you? You just work out what sort of words you like and how you like passwords, and then just decide, yeah, I like this password. And it's actually going to come here into the bottom lane. Nice clear out with that sweeping lane. It's going to get rid of that ward, but another one put down. That pumpkin is going to be spotting out Vayne and Janna for as long as they can. Oh, we have another... Gregus has arrived. We have another pause coming out. So, let's get the overlays back up. Well, I can't actually see, but yes, wow, yes he is, and there is no ignite on Smithy playing that Orianna, so maybe be able to pick up the kill soon. I was rambling for a little bit there. I do apologise. Like, it's difficult when you're trying to set things up and having to talk about a game at the same time. So we'll see if Gragas does go down. It looks like he is in range for an auto attack just from looking at that mini map. So he will probably be taken out here by the Orianna, and that should be first blood. Maybe he will. I mean, the thing about this sort of early game is, especially now with the way that gold's been changed, and you don't get as much gold if you get a first blood kill before the first 4 minutes of up. Early games tend to be a bit more relaxed now. Yes, of course, getting that little bit of extra gold is great, and you want that, but like, you don't need it. You don't. It's not vital for your ability as a laner to sort of win your lane, so to speak. A lot of it's more about how you farm, how you harass people down, how you get the experience and level advantage, as opposed to actually getting those blood advantages. Kill advantage. That's the word, kills. Yeah, we are still having a lot of lag actually on my end of the thing. I'm still trying to sort this out, but I think it might be something to do with my ISP, so hopefully we'll get it fixed any second now. I do have a beautiful voice. It's beautiful. That it can. Hopefully we'll be switching over to a more stable stream at any moment now, guys, so it should be easier for you guys to watch and easier for us to cast as well, because it's not fun having to look at all of these issues and try and deal with these things as we're meant to be concentrating on the game. We do have Woozy has reconnected. Oh, you know, I just realised that I just hadn't noticed that he was that low and had actually disconnected, so maybe Oriana went in a little hard, thinking that he was still in the game, and has actually almost picked up this kill with a disconnected mid laner on the other team. So we'll see if he can escape. Good thing she hasn't laid down an ignite, because of course she doesn't have one. So hopefully be able to escape there in the mid lane. We'll rush across to him as soon as the game gets out of this pause. There we go. Oh, he flashes away. Actually does manage to survive there, so that's really good. Meaning that disconnect hasn't actually cost him anything. Yeah, Renekton isn't dangerous, but gets that stun down, and we talked about the strength of Renekton early game. If you can just lock down your opponents, even as they come in for the ganks, means they won't be able to get close enough for you to actually have to burn any of your summoners. So he is still alive and kicking and biting in that top lane. Looks like they're going to come around actually Vi into this top lane, going to come in for this gank. He's charged up that Vault Breaker, flashes in, actually misses it, but the red buff block is here. The Ghost has come out here from Olaf. Should be able to get away from this one, and does a little. Should be easier for him to stay alive in that lane now that he knows there's no ghost coming out from that Olaf. A little bit of gank coming in mid lane, but body slam away there by Gragas. We talked about that. Really mobile, really easy to get away from these ganks as they come in towards you. And I mean, you're quite a big man if you're playing Gragas, so ganks tend to be able to hit their mark most of the time, but that dodging is superb. Flash actually here by the Oriana in mid lane. It's got red buff clock on, but it's going to be able to walk away from it. One problem we didn't talk about for Gragas is the fact that, Jarvan picking up Vi off to the side, and Vi's going to have to back away from this one. Jarvan is chasing a little bit, actually uses the command, it's not the command, the Demacian standard there to get onto Vi. The 2 Vault Breakers across the wall, and they're all going to back away and keep playing nicely. Yeah. Yeah, obviously they are going to win this game on Wolves Esports, however they're also going to lose the game, so very interesting to see how they feel about both winning and losing at the same time. Vayne is sort of a hyper carry, sorry. Oh, excellent. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. Dear me, it's just been a day of problems for us here in the EGL studios. And obviously, since we had our recent move to Cologne, it's a lot more difficult for us to get these things organised. That was a joke, by the way. I was alluding to the ESL moving to Cologne. I think I've sorted this out there. Go, let's have a chat now.
I would love to. Yeah, can you hear me now? I'm here. Who knows whether anyone can hear me? Hopefully you can. I would love to have an EGL studio in Cologne, though. I'd go there. I'd love to meet up with you and cast there. Sounds like fun.
It would be very much fun. I'm just checking to make sure that you are audible on stream. I do apologise about the technical difficulties, obviously. Still no first blood, though, in this game between Wolves Esports and Wolves Esports. And really, like, we had that gank on, Gragas damage in the mid lane really early on. That was 3 minutes and 19 seconds, I think. But since then, apart from a couple of summoner spells being used, nothing major's really happened. However, this top lane, people are getting low now. They're getting down to about half health. Dominus will come out from Renekton when he almost, if the fight continues, but he's decided to back away and he's going to go back and buy himself up some items.
Yeah, and with these first couple of items coming out, now Gragas just picked up his blues, so did Orion, and with these buffs on the AP mids, with the first big items coming out, I think that Dragon soon will be a thing that teams are going to focus on, and that will really be the first deciding factor in this game, and it will be the first big team fight objective that they're all going to go for. Renekton now picked up the Giant Skull. He's pretty damn tanky. I do not want to mess with him right now.
Lots of damage coming down onto Vayne in the bottom lane. Like, the culling used after a nice Annie stun means that he's down to about 300 health. Sorry, she is down to about 300 health. However, they have warded up this Triburst, so they will see Jarvan coming round. He's sweeping lanes as that one. It's going to go down. Gragas is getting taken down in the mid lane, but it's going to use those bowels just to keep himself safe. However, Shockwave has been used, but Smithy's still on very high life, has the blue buff as well. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-man stack here in the bottom lane. Jarvan getting caught out. Nice Howling Gale across the wall, and Vi picking up that kill with the red buff. They're going to go onto Annie. Annie's getting taken very low. Here comes Janet. Exhaust down onto Lucian. Vayne picking up that one, and Annie is as good as gone. Lucian manages to escape, and Oriana gets taken down the mid lane. What a superb couple of seconds here for Wolves Esports. They have picked up 3 kills, and they're now 1,000 gold in the lead.
Out of nowhere. This is what I mentioned earlier. You know, first there's that lull, and then all of a sudden, these teams explode. And really across the entire bottom half, as Vayne actually has to flash away with that stealth tumble. Very nearly getting taken out by Lucian, but it was not quite in. But she did get away. And now Vi and Janna picked up the dragon in the meantime. That's going to be another amount of gold in favor of the blue team. And really, just superbly done. Vayne was pushed back against her tower together with Janna for the entire early game. Lucian and Annie being really dominant there as well. And then they knew Jarvan was around there, and it was a really nice play to be patient. They waited until Vi got there, and then had a very nice engage, picked off Jarvan just as he was trying to escape, then locked down Annie as well, and picked up 2 kills down there. Then Gragas in mid lane also picking up a kill. He's now in trouble.
Nice explosive cast there. Oh, the Shockwave gets flashed away from Cataclysm, and Shockwave used the Jarvan didn't actually use his flash. He managed to get away from the tower range with that Cataclysm. So nicely done by him. Renekton's coming down towards Oriana, however, in the mid lane. Gonna try and get his gank off, but the nice ward there spots him out, and he's gonna go back up towards the top.
And that's really left Olaf alone for a little bit there. Olaf pulling about 20 CS ahead of Renekton, but he has that Chain Vest plus the Ninja Tabi, so he's going to trade very evenly with Renekton, and that's a big wave at the tower now. Olaf should be pretty happy to just free farm a little bit up there, and must be happy about Renekton just leaving him alone up in that lane to farm. And it's not something Renekton can really allow to happen a lot more. because if Olaf keeps going and keeps ramping up, he will be terrifying towards the mid and late game.
Jarvan coming in for a gank in the mid lane, but Orianna had backed away already, knowing that Vi was nearby, so nothing going to happen there. A couple of shots going down onto Gragas, but he will chug away and get his health back really, really quickly.
And Vayne, she's almost got later Fury King. I would actually recommend...
Oh, sorry, Tibbers coming down onto the bottom lane. Nice Monsoon there. Really well played by the Janus to knock everyone back and kept it going so that the heal was able to sustain Vayne through the damage she took there. So the Tibbers was very well played there by Annie, but nicely done by Janna just to keep his AD carry safe.
And no hesitation whatsoever. The burst came out and instantly there was the Monsoon. She reacted very nicely and just there for AD carry when it was needed. And I'm kind of surprised to see Annie just rushing the Sightstone and not picking up, you know, any other items. She has no gold generation, and if she's not getting any kills, she's severely going to be lacking in gold. As Vayne actually does a nice amount of damage to Lucian, but really until that Blade of Third King is finally done, I would not recommend for Vayne to fight, because Lucian currently has a BF sword, a Dorn's Blade, a long sword. That's a lot of raw damage, and Lucian scaled so well with raw attack damage. His scalings on AD are just very good, especially in the early game. Now, Vayne, about more than 40 CS behind it, it's really not that good.
Up in that CS if you can.
That the fact that she's almost even in gold is thanks to that dragon being picked up for their team, thanks to getting a kill and an assist. That global gold really helping her out there. Plus, of course, the kill and assist. That's a lot of bonus there, as I think a kill is about 15 to 20 CS. So yeah, if we count up that difference, that should about make it even, as Annie sweeps out another ward in the spot lane, and she's really been looking for the kills, and Jarvan sneaks in there as well. Vayne and Janna, though, very cautious.
They've done a great job of denying vision in this bottom lane from this Wolves Esports side. Wolves
User left
German
your
side
channel.
is the purple side, right? Just the normal Wolves Esports are purple, yes. The Wolves Esports side are doing a great job denying vision in the bottom lane. They've kept using the Weeping Lens in that tri-bush, and they've put a pink ward as well in this bottom lane, just denying as much as they can from this Vayne and Janna. However, the early kills got them back in the game. That's like, if they hadn't got those kills, they would be so far behind in this lane. So, ooh, so just coming out of Janna gets the nice one, she's going to get Captain, but the Iron is strong. Vi is packing up the code. That is beautiful play. Look at how low Janna is back away there, and that's the kill. Vayne picking up the first one there. Good as gone, managing to secure that one. Annie has to flash away. Gragas has come away. Vayne has actually got onto the Annie in the bottom lane. He's going to be able to take her out, but there's an engagement top lane with Necton versus Olaf. Who's going to win? And Necton wins that one. Vayne gets the kill, tanks up one tower shot and a couple of minions. And there's the Orianna getting chased away here by Gragas. Gragas really picked up Jarvan. There's a double kill. 8-1.
Aced.
Wow. Once again, the same thing that happened earlier, just nothing for a while. And then all of a sudden, the red team, the Wolves Esports, have the feeling they need to do something. So they try to force the issue by pulling Jarvan down to the bottom lane, and then it just turns back on them because they're a little bit impatient and go really hard. And Janna, I cannot believe she survived that, because that was ridiculous. The HP she escaped with was just, I mean, it's always the time when players say in all chat worth or calculated math, stuff like that, but in the end that's a little bit of luck. But very nicely played there from Wolf Esports Bulgaria, and just, I mean, beautifully done, and it's really picked up a bunch of advantages for them. They're now 4,000 gold in the lead. Dragon just respawned, and if they can keep up the pressure here across these lanes, they can go for that very soon.
Vi has done such a great job of counter-ganking in that bottom lane. Each time Jarvan's been there, Vi has shown up at the perfect moment. Explosive Cask actually coming out here from Gragas in the middle lane. He's going to body slam across the wall, get himself out to safety. And it looks like Vi actually might be doing Dragon by herself here, Grey Goose.
And Vi, of course, one of those champions that can do that. She dashes over the wall from the back. It's not possible to see her when she does that if you have any wards in the river. And even though there were 2 wards from the red team, they could not see Vi moving in there, and she could do a stealthy, sneaky Baron. Very nicely done. That's the second Baron. Dragon, of course. That's a second Dragon in favor of WLV.es Bulgaria, as we see another Tibbers in the bottom lane.
Tibbers coming down in the bottom lane. Janna's getting taken very low. She might go down this time. The auto attack, but Vayne is doing huge damage. Good has gone, picks up the kill there onto Lucian. We go on to Annie now. Tibbers is around. Tibbers does a lot of damage, and that is the double kill for the Annie support.
Double kill on Annie, and I mentioned earlier that, you know, Annie, she needed to get a couple of kills. She has no gold generation items, and now she is 3-2-0. She's gotten 3 kills. That's very nice for herself. And if she manages to keep doing this, she'll get stronger and stronger and basically become that second AP carry that they may be looking for here. But now there's a Bloodthirster done on Lucian. He's almost got the Phage ready as well. And Vayne has that Blade of the Iron King, or had in that fight already, which helped her a great deal. That was the only reason why she even managed to still pick up Lucian. But with Orianna moving down to bot, actually have a fight here.
Yeah, Vi engaging 3v1. Here's Gragas' explosive pass. Nice shockwave, but doesn't actually manage to pick up anyone there. Annie is getting chased across here by Gragas. She's going to go down. Vi getting taken out by Orianna. Gragas gets 1 kill. Lucian's around as well. Here comes Gragas. Going to go onto the Orianna. Misses the body slam. Nice command protect. They're going to keep them safe. Here comes Janna. Is it going to be enough? Exhaust down onto the Jarvan, and Gragas is tanking up this tower. Lucian is there. Gragas, don't do it. There's 1 barrel. Is it going to be enough? The command protectors come out as well. Places the ward down. The Culling misses. And there it is. The ignite is not going to be enough, and Gragas got a bit greedy there.
Big greedy indeed. That tower dive was not the best move there, but I guess he wanted the kill. There's still 4,500 gold ahead, as a tower is picked up in top, and now Olaf actually forced to use that Ragnarok in order to get away from Renekton. So very nice play all across the map once again from both of these teams. Very nice job by Orianna. They're surviving the dive. Lucian came in to assist. And it was really just a team effort to save Orianna there. But overall, currently the map pressure hugely in favor of Wolves Esports Bulgaria. They just have everything in their favor right now. It is 2-0 in towers, a 4,500 gold advantage, 10-5 in kills. They're just very far ahead right now. And if they manage to keep up this pressure across all the lanes, they definitely have a very good chance here of snowballing this even further and just building out their lead.
Yeah, we see 2 Sunfire Capes being built in the top lane, not on the same champion, obviously. You can no longer do that Sunfire Cape stacking. I remember the good old days when you could play Evelyn and stand next to someone and kill them with your 6 Sunfire Capes. Oh, League of Legends, so balanced, so balanced.
Sadly, that's
has picked. Sorry.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Talking.
No, you go. Go on, Gregis.
Go on, we have a Tibbers in the bottom lane.
Ooh, missed the, didn't manage to pick up the stun with that Tibbers, so wasn't able to capitalize on that kill, and that is that ultimate down for now. You can use Tibbers to scout out, obviously, and does that extra magic damage to everything surrounding him and anything he hits, obviously, as well, so not a wasted ultimate. Actually, Flash in here onto Janna, she gets taken out. Nice Flash stun there. For sure, the Flash was required, though. I think they might have been able to get into the range of Janna even without flashing in for that one, but it is a Janna down in this bottom lane, and she got blown away by their skills.
That was really nicely done there from Annie and Lucian. They said, we're going to go, and they went for it, as Olaf actually taking Renekton very, very low. It looked like Renekton's going to be able to back off. Still has that dominance as well. Olaf did use that Ragnarok there, but he's not done yet.
Oh, Shockwave into the explosive cast. A flash away there by Oina, but nice flash body slam there by Gragas to pick that one up. Jarvan is chasing, however. Gonna have to back away. Gragas is pretty big right now, Gragas.
Indeed, and every time there has been a duel in that mid lane, he's come out ahead. Every time Orianna and he go head to head, Gragas just wins. And he can just basically body slam on top of Orianna. Orianna uses the shockwave, that keeps him on top of her, and there's nothing they can do, but there's a gank top. Yeah,
coming in onto this Olaf, the Sultan battery has been used by Vibe, but Olaf popped the ghosts and manages just to run on away. Gragas is around, however, so if he stays around for a bit too long, might get caught out. The explosive cask will be up in about 20 seconds or so. They're going to back away, deciding not to go in on this one. Actually, there goes Renekton, and they're going to go in onto this Olaf. He gets taken very low. Dominus has been popped, and the ignite is ticking. That's going to be enough. Jarvan is here still as well, but not going to be able to stop his teammate from getting eaten by a crocodile.
And it's all about patience in this game, and it's something that Wolves Esports Bulgaria have been so proficient at. they just sit there and wait for the other Wolves Esports to mess up. And it's happened time and again. This time, Olaf didn't think that Gragas and Vi would still be around. Vi did indeed go back, but Gragas was still there, patiently sitting in the wings. And then once he saw the opportunity, they went for it, picked up another kill. Earlier in those bot lane engagements, every time it's patience.
So much damage to Jan, but she survives in bot lane. The Timbers came out. Vi, perfect timing again, and the Blade of the Ruin King picks up that kill for Vayne. That Janna, like, can Zerkers teach me how to play Janna? Because so many times, just escaped on like 3 HP.
It is indeed crazy, and it's been what's really helped them a lot. I mean, Lucian and Annie must be so frustrated. They have this powerful kill lane, and they're just unable to make it work for them. I mean, Annie's 4-4 and 1. But Lucian is 0-2 and 4. He's not been able to pick up the kills he wants, and he has gotten a couple of them. But here's a third dragon now for Wolves Esports Bulgaria that is completely uncontested. There's just nothing Esports and the red team can do, and they're just letting this game slip a little bit. It is 3-1 in towers now, and a 7,000 gold lead. The Phantom Dancer is done on Vayne, and when a Vayne has a Blade of the Ruin King and a Phantom Dancer, a 5-2-1 Vayne, and a 6-1-0 Gragas that has a Death Cap, the Fiend's Unholy Grail, Sorcerer's Shoes, and another Blasting Wand, that is terrifying. That is something I do not want to mess with.
Do not want to get anywhere near that Gragas or the Vayne. Like, the Vayne is just so big, as you said. Looking on the other side, Bloodthirster and parts of the Trinity Force being picked up there by Lucian still hasn't got that completed item, nor does he have level 2 boots, so going to be a bit slower than the rest of the team there. And what we're seeing now is a 4-man stack down this middle lane from the Wolves Esports team. They're going to try and get this tower out. They should be able to do it, actually. Only Janna and Vi there to defend it. And you've got 4 really strong characters beating down onto that, so they do pick that one up and going to back away from that after securing their little bit of global gold.
And that's something they have to do here. Wolves Esports on the red side, they have to get their engagements now. They need to move as a cohesive unit. So far, they've always been split up across the lanes, and then Wolves Esports Bulgaria have just turned on the aggression in 2 lanes at the same time. Bot lane and mid lane usually, or even top lane, Renekton would pick up a kill. And they weren't able to utilize their full team fighting potential, because Wolves Esports Bulgaria was just defensive, waited off the enemy engage, disengaged, and then turned around, picked up kills for themselves. Now, Wolves Esports made a very nice rotation. They're going over to the mid lane, picking up a tower, but now they're forced back against their own tower. You know, they have a good team fight, but when you're down 5,000 gold, it's that much harder to make this team fight happen. But it's only 5,000 gold again. It was just 7,000 gold a second ago, and this is what they need to keep doing. They need to pick up the little advantages, but here's a trap. This could be a Fnatic play.
Yeah, going for a death rush play, but it's not going to work out. The lane's a bit too pushed for that, really. Like, if the minions had been pushing towards the tower on the Wolves Esports side, that's the red side, would have been a lot easier to set up a bush of doom, but not quite able to get the sort of the timing correct on that one, I think.
I'm kind of surprised that Janna actually, after building that Talisman of Ascension, which is very, very nice for her, she's actually gone for a Fiendish Codex, an Amtome, and a Fairy Charm. And I would have personally expected her to build a Mikael's Crucible, as Janna is a very mana-hungry champion, especially when you want to spam those Howling Gales and the shields on your AD carry. That would have been very nice for her for the mana regeneration, and of course the active of Mikael's Crucible is so crucial in a game like this, because the one thing that can turn onto Wolves Esports Bulgaria is if the stuns come out onto Vayne, and Vayne is kept locked down. And with that Mikael's Crucible, of course, you can free one of your team members from any form of crowd control. That includes Morgana ultimate, that includes Varus ultimate, and a bunch of other things, among them any stuns. And that would just really be a very nice tool for them, as Lucian here getting caught.
Yeah, Assault and Battery going down onto Lucian, flashes across the wall, nice pivot stun onto Janna and Vi. They're going to have to back away. Janna actually flash monsooning there, really nicely done. Olaf is there, the backline, there's the explosive cast, Cataclysm going down. Olaf going very low, has to pop Ragnarok in the first kill. He's gone down, Lucian's out, Vayne getting taken out there by Orianna. Here she goes, she's going to try and flash away, she does manage to escape. No, flash body slam, but there goes Gragas, he's down. Dominus has been popped here by Renekton, he's going to get one kill. And are they going to be able to secure more kills under this tower? It doesn't look like it. Going to have to back away. Renekton tanking up just a couple more shots to make sure everyone survives. Janna's still alive, however. Like, I don't understand how she does it. I do not. I don't know.
Neither do I, but in this fight, it does not matter that much. I mean, the Howling Gale there at the end was nice and all, but the important thing is she flashed over, used the Monsoon, drew basically the aggro to herself, and everyone tried to collapse onto her. They wanted to get her down, wanted to kill that Janna, which made them stick around. And then all of a sudden, there's a Renekton, there's a Vi, there's a Vayne, and a Gragas moving onto that area, and then there was just a huge amount of damage. That Cataclysm not really helping there, locking everyone in a tight little spot, and both Renekton and Gragas love fighting in an enclosed area. They love doing all that damage to a couple of people when they can just, you know, it doesn't matter because nobody can dodge their stuff. Can just sit there and deal passive damage. Of course, that Renekton ultimate dealing AoE damage as well. The one important thing was how Vayne got. And had Vayne gone down a little bit earlier, instead of escaping once and then coming back in, that could have turned out very differently. Orianna picking up that kill there in the end, but it was a little bit too late. That was a shame. If she can do that again, if they can pop Vayne, there's definitely still a chance here for Wolves Esports, but they have to do that. They have to focus right. They do have the potential.
And it looks like we had another Deathmatch setup coming out here from Wolves Esports Bulgaria, but doesn't look like they're going to have any fruition from these thus far. Not quite the Fnatic level plays that we were expecting to see. Jarvan might get caught out a little bit. Renekton's coming across on the side, but it's 5v5 at the moment. Actually, Olaf is a bit overextended. There's the body slam. Nice Ragnarok out from him, but look at that half of his health. Explosive cast can't be disabled. You're not going to knock him anywhere. There's the culling coming out and the Cataclysm. Beautifully done. Janna and Vayne get melted by that combo. Really, really good play, and the chase is still on here. Command dissonance will come up any second to be able to get them a bit closer. They're gonna decide to stop the fight.
And that right there is where you need the Talisman of Ascension to keep up that chase. But it was very nicely done. Beautiful escape from Olaf, that Ragnarok just keeping him alive and saving him completely there from the knockback of the explosive cast. Nice try by Gragas, but that was a really good play from Wolves Esports on the red side as they were able to pick up Vayne and Janna. As a follow-up, they now got Dragon as well. It's the gold lead has shortened to only 3,000 gold. As I mentioned, if they get Vayne and Janna down, anything is possible. And even though Gragas now picked up the Void Staff as well, there's a lot of damage on him. He's 8-2-0 with 250 CS. Good God, what a monster. But that's not going to be enough if Vayne and Janna are taken out of the fight completely, exploded at the beginning, and the rest of the Wolves Esports team on the red is still completely healthy, and because now Lucian has that Trinity Force, has the Bloodthirster. Orianna just picked up her Death Cap as well. She's got the Haunting Guys and another Athene's on Holy Grail. You know, they're ramping up as well. And it's almost as if Wolves Esports Bulgaria did not do enough with that 7,000 gold lead they had at some point.
Yeah, gone back to 3,000 gold now, and like it's still a game that is in their favour. They have the late game hyper carry in Vayne. They've got a fed AP mid laner in Gragas. They've got a great tank there. Renekton 203 with a Randuin's Omen and building into that Spirit Visage as well. But it's a turnaround. This could be the point where we say, looking back at the game, this is where Wolves Esports actually won it. However, Baron being started off here, there aren't any wards around it. They've decided to back away from it. Might have been able to get it quite sneakily, but the rest of the Wolves Esports team are coming across. They are going to be able to put a ward in there any moment now.
I'm surprised they backed away so readily. That just shows how afraid they are of Annie and Olaf, because they knew that Jarvan and Orianna were down there in the bottom half of the jungle doing the blue buff. They had a ward near there, and they saw them walk by. But even so, they decided not to do anything, and that's just a sign that they're really unsure of themselves right now. They do still have a 6-kill lead, but they don't know how much gold they are ahead. The towers are even. You know, at this point, you have to ask yourself, how are we going to go about this? And then Vayne and Janna had just gotten caught the fight before. They wanted to be really careful there, but that would have been a very sneaky Baron, and sadly, they backed off, did not go for it, decided to play it safe, but that means they may live to fight another day.
That they do. One thing that's interesting is we see Annie building towards the Deathfire Grass, which is great, and it's going to help her entire team melt down Vayne just that little bit more, because if you can get that extra magic damage from all sources, extra 20% of all magic damage dealt to the champion in the next couple of seconds, so get that on Vayne with a command dissonance, that's almost going to be Vayne's entire health bar.
And Vayne needs to get a defensive item here, but she's gold starved. You know, if we actually look at the gold comparison between the two teams, it's 10,100 on Vayne and 10,900 on Lucian. So there's a 5-4-2 Vayne with 180 CS, but then there's a Lucian with 265. He has consistently stayed ahead the entire game, and even though a couple of bot lane engagements turned south for WLV Esports, they still kept up the farm advantage in that bot lane and the top lane. The only one that's behind is in mid. Gragas, of course, being such a monster, I can't really fault Orianna for losing out in that farm battle. But, you know, as we said, this game is still very, very close, and there's a siege right now from Wolves Esports Bulgaria. But if they're careless, if they make one little mistake, and Wolves Esports on the red team get a good engagement, this can all turn around very, very quickly.
Yeah, if they fight under a tower, it depends on who's tanking up the tower, obviously, but it's never a good idea to fight under your opponent's tower, especially when they have that much CC. They've got Annie, they've got Orianna, they've got so much ability to keep you stunned and locked up in these fights. You don't want to be getting into a position where you're taking extra damage.
And with all these escape abilities that they have, maybe it would almost be better to have sent Vayne to that top lane or someone. I mean, Renekton works as well, but that means you kind of give up your tank. Someone to the top lane to push that wave. They had a pretty big minion wave, and it's forced Olaf up there now. Imagine what could have happened if someone was actively pushing that lane, and then would have rotated to mid as soon as Olaf left mid lane. That could have been a very nice play there and forced a bad rotation out of Wolves Esports, and you know, they could have picked up the middle tower with that maybe, or a couple of kills in the jungle when the enemy team tries to respawn with their own rotation. Right now they're trying to steal away this red buff. Olaf is just around the corner. Gonna be safe here though, but I mean, this is getting really tense, and I think split pushing would be an option for Wolves Esports Bulgaria, because right now they're just wasting time. They're shoving minion waves, but all that does is give Wolves Esports on the red team a chance to farm better. And there's a huge stack of minions right now in the bot lane, and as soon as someone shows there, you know, Vayne going down there to that bot lane, and when she shows herself, it may be the signal for Wolves Esports to rush that Baron.
Or even just push for a team fight. It's going to be a 5v3 if they do manage to get engagement off here. And they have a good amount of sort of gap closers with Jarvan, with the ability of Relentless Pursuit coming out from Lucian as well. They're able to get close and up close and personal with the opposition if they need to. So, it's, as you say, they are just giving them waves to farm. They're just giving them minions, and it'll be difficult for Wolves Esports Bulgaria to do anything until they actually make like a set decision. Do they split push, or do they just keep trying to push down this mid lane tower?
The dragon is up in 15 seconds, and that may actually be a very nice trap here, as they do want to start off Baron maybe. They cleared out the wards, and now Wolves Esports have to react to this, and this may be another trap here. Very, very sneaky. Annie moving around does know about it, and now Olaf and Jarvan down there in that dragon pit taking dragon, and this is going to be the sign for Wolves Esports Bulgaria to pick up Baron, because the jungler's not there. That's the danger of trying to pick up dragon at this time of game. They're rushing up there, but is it going to be enough?
Baron has a lot of damage, but they're gonna back away. Baron taken down to about half health there. Gonna have to back away from it. I think, like, in all honesty, I think they could have got there. I feel like Wolves Esports Bulgaria are being a little bit timid, a little bit too meek for their own good, and they might just want to try and just take an advantage. And yeah, if you lose the fight, oh, actually, here's an engagement mid lane. The Sergeant Battery, sorry, coming out on to Lucian. Nice monsoon into the explosive tusk, knocking people across to the side. Yes, Olaf and Jarvan get dragon, but that is not what you want. You're going to lose your team. And he goes down as well. Double kill for Renekton. Vayne is going to join the fight pretty late, but they might be able to push down this tower now. However, Orianna, Olaf, and Jarvan are all still up.
That's a very nice pick there, though. Not even now do they want to go for Baron. They're so scared of this enemy team here, but they are going to push on to mid. But look at that, Vayne losing a lot of her HP. This is going to be really dangerous.
By flashing away, there's the Cataclysm as well. Vayne using final hour. Orianna's going to go down, but Olaf is on Vayne's face. It's not a good place to be, Vayne. Going to be able to back away from that one. Dominus has been popped by Renex and tanking up a couple of tower shots, but yeah, they get a kill for a kill. They still haven't got that tower.
Yeah. They're not... I mean, they won that fight earlier. They picked off Lucian and Annie, huge threats that they had just removed from the next fight, and they were still not able to make anything happen with it. They're just sitting there and they're saying, okay, cool, we got 2 kills. What do we do now? Let's siege the middle tower, and then they trade 1 for 1, but they're not focusing, getting that tower down. They're not making any headway in this game. And it's still only, the gold lead is ever shortening. It's now 2,700, and it's not, you know, it's getting less and less. And Wolves Esports are ramping up, getting more and more items. Orianna moving towards Azania's Hourglass now, already has a Seeker's Arm Guard. Olaf, really tanky right now. He's got the Sunfire Cape, the Randuin Zone, the Spirit Visage, building now lifesteal items. This is not where you want to be. Lucian also, with that CS lead, of course, 90 CS ahead of Vayne, already has that last Whisper in there as well. He does a lot of damage, and now Annie finally picked up the Deathfire Grasp. And this is when it gets really, really icky. The enemy team is getting stronger and stronger. You feel your advantage slipping away. You feel like we can't break through their inner towers, and after that still come the inhibitor towers. How are they going to go about this?
It's going to be very difficult for them. Lucian now 100 CS ahead of his lane opponent, and 80 CS actually ahead of Olaf is over Renekton as well. So the gold, like Renekton has more kills and more assists, but less gold. They've also got more dragons and the same amount of towers, but less gold than his lane opponent, and Vayne has less gold than her lane opponent as well. So as much as on the scoreboard it looks like Wolves Esports Bulgaria are in the lead, in actual fact only a really small difference.
It is indeed, and I mean the main difference is in that mid lane. Gragas, of course, still 8-2-3, but I mean he was 8-2-0 about 15 minutes ago, and nothing has changed about that. He's picked up another 3 assists, but that's not what you want to do when you're such a terrifying force on the field. He's got a Death Cap, a Zhonya's Hourglass, Athene's Unholy Grail, and the Void Staff. One item is missing for his full build, and he has the Talisman of Ascension. They try to engage.
Yeah, they're going to go in onto Orianna. She gets knocked up. There's the Ruthless Predator Explosive. Nice shockwave. The culling is coming on onto the Janna. Nice pick up there. Vayne getting the kill on Orianna, and Jarvan is not in a good position. It's Pop Vandrez. He goes down as well. Beautiful engage there by this Wolves Esports Bulgaria team, and they're going to chase away these other 3 members, and looks like they actually might rotate round towards Baron.
And finally, they got a pick. That was a beautiful engagement, good call there. The Talisman of Ascension combined with the Twin Shadows, and then the Assault and Battery out of Phi. It's a very, very powerful combination to pick off Orianna. They saw Orianna on that ward there, and then decided, okay, we can get there in time. Picked her up, beautifully done, and finally they got an objective. They got Baron now. Question is, what can they do with this? Now they're going to rotate to top lane. They have a fairly big minion wave there, and the tower is, as of yet, untouched. So they're still going to have to do a lot of work there. Jarvan and Orianna still have another 10 seconds until they respawn. But with that perfect Via initiation in that last fight, the perfect team fighting and 2 kills picked up, finally they've managed to break down the first one of the inner towers. This may be the button they needed to turn on and now finally close out this game.
That, of course, alongside the extra health regeneration and AP and AD that you get from Baron, is really going to help them in this siege fight that they've been having. The wave clear, however, coming out from the Wolves Esports team on the red side, it's just really strong. Like, they've got an Orianna, they've got an Annie, they've got Lucian. They're all very good at clearing minion waves pretty quickly, so they haven't yet lost an inhibitor, and they might actually be able to hold this one out until this Baron buff goes down again.
And that fight could have ended very differently had Orianna already finished that Zhonya's Hourglass. If she had been able to go into that stasis for 2.5 seconds, that may have been enough time for the rest of her team to collapse. I mean, Lucian was there. He did a lot of damage onto Janna. The Monsoon was forced out because of that. But, you know, it's these little things. And if Wolves Esports manage to stall this a little bit longer until Orianna gets a Zhonya's Hourglass, until Lucian completes his defensive item, he's already got the Spectre's Cowl there, and maybe Annie gets another little bit of an item, Olaf finishes his Blade of the Ruin King, then they can definitely, even now, even at this point, still turn around this game into their favor again.
Oh! Half of Annie's health goes down there in one barrel. Huge amounts coming out from that Gragas. As we said, 9 and 2 now. Has got a Haunting, guys, so that little bit of extra magic penetration as well. And this tower is down to about 1/3 of its HP. Vayne actually has been auto-attacking champions instead of the tower, but there we are. tanked up by Vine, and they managed to pick that one up. Talisman of Ascension being popped as well to get them into this bottom lane, and they're just rotating around the towers as quickly as they can.
They may actually still try to set up a trap here. The minion wave is still pretty far back. It's going to give Wolves Esports enough time to rotate around themselves as well. Now they're 5-man defending this bottom tower. But as we mentioned, first tower went down in top lane, then the tower in mid lane. Now they're in bot. Dragon is alive. They can always rotate back to take that as well. And this Baron buff has already paid off 100 times over. And it's only getting more as they're doing massive damage to this tower here.
Yeah, it looks like the tower might go down. Vayne is on there. Renekton actually jumping into the back line. It's Pop Dominus as well. They're going to go in. 96 points of cost, knocking Jarvan back into the fight. He gets knocked up by the Howling Gale as well. Shockwave hitting 3 people. So much damage coming out, but Vayne is alive and kicking. She's going in for Lucian. Manages to pick up one. She's gone very deep here. Nice shields on her. The Monsoon double kill. Not able to pick up the triple. The rest of the team are getting melted. Jarvan coming back into this one. They're going to go on to Olaf. Not quite enough damage, and they had to back away. Gragas really low as well. Body slam onto Jarvan. It's going to be enough. Olaf trying to come back out. Would be able to pick up 3 of them with one undertow right there, but isn't going to be able to get there in time. Has actually popped the home guards. There we are. Is he going to be able to get onto this team? Yes, he is. He gets onto Vi. Vi goes very low. Body slam away there. Renekton is still very high on health, however. He's going to be able to tank up all of this Olaf damage for a little bit, going for the inhibitor, and so much damage going down onto Janna as well. Olaf is still fighting this one out as best he can, but it looks like the inhibitor's going to go down, and they're going to back away straight away. Oh no, explosive cast coming out, and they're going to pick up Olaf. Oh no, yes, no, yes, yes. My voice went very high there for a second.
That was very close there for Gragas. He did take a lot more damage than I think he expected, but now that was a huge move for Wolves Esports Bulgaria. They got the inhibitor down in that bot lane, and this is beautiful with, you know, they didn't pick up Dragon. I think Janna and Gragas could have moved down there and picked that up as well, but now they've gotten a bunch of gold and a bunch of map control. Janna just picked up a death cap for herself. That's going to make her a lot scarier simply because her shields will give huge amounts right now. Then Vayne with that Guardian Angel going to be crucial in the next couple of fights. His shield, by the way, is currently at 240 plus 232. So that's over 450 damage shield that you can put onto someone. That's a lot of shield to burst through if you want to kill someone really, really quickly.
That's it is, and we see Annie picking up the Negatron cloak actually now, so gonna try and be that little bit more tanky. Just maybe going into an Abyssal Scepter, but at the moment it's a 10,000 gold lead here for the Wolves Esports Bulgaria team. And buff has gone down, but it's up in 2 minutes, so they might try and push down a mid lane, get the inhibitor down, and then go for Baron.
And the bottom inhibitor is so good for forcing another Baron fight, because that's going to mean there's a lot of minions on the bottom half of the map that Wolves Esports have to take care of. They can't let those just walk into their base and take down the Nexus towers, because that's going to leave them even more vulnerable. There's a lot of pressure mid right now as well, and as soon as that Baron spawns in a minute, can just run over there, take that down, and then return to the mid lane, and then take down that middle inhibitor tower if they don't manage to get it just now. Renekton, by the way, what a beast. That last initiation down in bot lane was all him. He is 4-0-11 with 267 CS. Still a perfect game for him. He's behind in CS compared to Olaf, but he's been doing his job. He's got the Randuin Zone and the Spirit Visage, the Sunfire Cape, and a Maw of Malmortius just picked up on that last back now. And he's just been that body block that we mentioned in Champ Select. He's been the beefy frontline for his team and really helped everyone out.
That he has, and that bottom wave is still pushing in quite strongly. The tower in mid lane is down to about a third of his HP, so should be able to go down any moment now. However, as we talked about earlier, the wave clear coming out here from the Wolves Esports team is very strong, but there's a massive wave in top lane as well. They're going to have to deal with that unless they want to lose quite a bit of health on that inhibitor tower.
It's a little bit sad because had that wave gotten there 30 seconds later, that would have been a lot better for Wolves Esports Bulgaria. That would have meant somebody had to go bot to defend that, to defend against the super minions. Somebody would have had to go top to defend that huge wave there, and it would have given Esports Bulgaria a free opportunity at Baron. This way they pick up Dragon, are content with that, go back, go shopping one more time, and then they're ready for the next Baron fight. Lucian, though, picked up a Banshee's Veil, so he's going to be a little, have a little more survivability against the enemies. Vayne actually picking up an Infinity Edge. Did I miss something? Did I just completely not register her picking that up earlier and she's had it for ages? I think I did.
Yeah.
That's scary,
Right,
though.
man.
That's a Vayne I don't want to mess with.
No, you do not want to be getting anywhere near that woman, especially at certain times of the month. But so much damage has come out in this game, and we see so much ability for control of objectives and of positions on the map, of map awareness as well. We do see the Baron getting started here by the Wolves Esports Bulgaria team. The Wolves Esports on the red side are going to come around the side, try and get onto this one. We do see Renekton is out to the side, and Baron goes down. Nice engagement, Shadow flashing across Paladin of Ascension. They're going to go in. Renekton is being a tanky man, but Olaf is on the back line, and he gets a nice tip there, but it was actually Zonya beautifully by the Gragas, and he picks up the kill on Jarvan as well. Renekton is on half health, like he's just tanked up their entire team for an hour, and he's on half health. Olaf goes down, too good as gone. And only Lucian alive with the inhibitors up for grab in that bottom lane. The surrender vote comes out. Well played, Wolves Esports Bulgaria. They'll be going through to the semi-finals. The next game will be streamed. Someone put it in chat. I can't remember what the next game that will be streamed is. Oh, HL18. And I think that's her level was 18. And Team AMI. Before we get on to the next game, what did you think about that one, Grey Goose?
That was just beautifully done. A lot of map vision from Wolves Esports Bulgaria. There in the end for that Baron. They had forced their enemies into the position they wanted them to be, and then picked up basically a free, uncontested Baron for themselves. Really nicely done there. And just, I mean, it took them quite a while to crack that inner wall of towers, but once they did, they turned up the aggression again. It was as if, those torture instruments in the Middle Ages, the like thumb screws, all of a sudden, they turned that closer and closer and just squeezed the life out of Wolves Esports on the red side, and they just picked up the win for themselves there. Really beautifully done, and yeah, congratulations to them. And if you look at the damage done, Gragas just way out there. He's done so much this game. Huge amount more than Vayne. And you can see how dominating Renekton had been as well. He was just a monster all game. Very nicely done there. A lot of that team really, really strong.
Yeah, really well played by them. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with her level was 18 versus... I'm ready for the name. Team AMI. I've been Sona. My co-caster is Grey Goose. I think it's Pash taking over the next one, isn't it?
It will
Pash?
be indeed. So I will be back with Pash in just a few minutes. Thank you very much, Sona. It's been a delight.
Thank you very much, Grey Goose. And I will see you guys. We'll see you guys shortly.